And so, sometimes every week I say I'm a jailhouse lawyer outside of jail without a degree, but I don't necessarily know if everybody understands that, right? And so I want to break down a PSA about that, and also, all kidding aside, about my jail suit and why I even do it and what I'm even referencing when I do it. So, essentially, since these plantation prisons were started, which are, on this occupied indigenous territory, really for the sole act of incarcerating indigenous and black, African, and brown people and poor people, even some poor white folks as well, because for crimes of poverty, right, which you could argue are really most crimes in this stolen land. But since they have been in effect, right, moving from the plantation overseers, as as our brothers M1 talks about, into officer, right, into police officers, there has been jailhouse lawyers, which are people inside these plantation prisons who learn the KKK courts, learn the laws and what I call legislations and politics that put people behind those plantations to work for nothing, to make money for the state, or to just basically be silenced and killed. So since they've been in effect, they've had jailhouse lawyers, which means people who learn this stuff so that they can help each other, each one teach one. Self-determination. Because we know that as poor people, we don't get representation. And so I just want to be really real about why I say that and why I humbly call upon that. In my case, it's not criminal law. I don't know that law, but I did 3 months in Santa Rita. That's a county jail, by the way, for those of you who don't know, in occupied Ohlone Lashon territory, aka outskirts of Oakland, right here in Califas Aslan. Anyway, I did 3 months for the sole act of being unhoused, because me and my mom slept in our car, on benches, in the streets, and we would get citations all the time for that, because it's a criminal act to be without a roof in this occupied land. Let's just sit with that for a second. That hypocrisy, right? But anyway, so I did 3 months, and that was after a childhood from 11 years old to 18 of struggling with evictions and homelessness. Now, when we had enough money, we would actually get inside. And oftentimes, we couldn't pay the rent. And so, let's just say that this poverty scholar learned how to navigate the court system from the inside. Henceforth, when I did the actual jail time at 18, when I turned 18 and they could incarcerate me, I spent that time going to the library when I wasn't having a splitting headache from the Wonder Bread sandwiches, and teaching myself the codes that allow them to kick every poor person to the street if you don't want the lie of rent, or more importantly, like most of the folks we report on in the gentrification report, for whatever reason, because they want to flip your housing. So that's what I'm calling upon when I say jailhouse lawyer outside of jail without a degree. Because frankly, guess what? I know a lot more than most tenant lawyers who went to institutional schools and got a piece of paper saying they're a lawyer. And I certainly know a lot more than the public pretenders and so-called advocates who are out there to help poor people. Because guess what? There is no poor people tenant law. Period, point blank. Now, I want to spend one more minute. I'm sorry I took this whole up giving that PSA, but I think it's important for people to understand. Oh, the last thing on this, we're going to be having a class this year, 1 o'clock. It's in our school that is for children, but it's all ages, on jailhouse lawyering and tenant law. And myself and Adante Pointer and other conscious lawyers will be teaching it. Jailhouse lawyers, that is. Adante Pointer being one of the few conscious folk who got the paper, who kicks down. But anyway, that's open to all. Just hit us up, poormag@gmail.com. So this week, there's a building, EE Manor, which we started talking about last week. EEC Manor, right down the street on Black Arthur, that's actually trying to get rid of their elder tenants so they can flip the whole building into market rate tenants. So sure enough, as we reported last week, this tenant came to us for help, this jailhouse lawyer, and said, I don't know what to do. Sure enough, showed me paperwork that he got a 3-day notice. A 3-day notice. Now, what's funny, not funny, is he'd already gotten a 30-day notice, but he didn't know what that meant. It was a language barrier. English is not his first language, and he's disabled elder, and he doesn't even read really any colonizer's language. Yeah, literacy is a thing, right? Although I critique that too. What does that mean? You not smart? He was smart enough to come here and to say, I need some help because something ain't right. That's called scholarship, poverty scholarship. That said, we infiltrated and instigated, and we beat back that eviction. I can tell you right now that there was a whole series of things we had to do, one of which was a revolutionary love clean, because he struggled with some hoarder stuff, although we critique that, collectors versus hoarders. Donald Trump gets 3 Jaguars. He's not called a hoarder clutter, that part. Anyway, but this was the saddest part, Leroy. We got in there with our revolutionary love cleaning crew to clean, because we'll do that. The place was clean! We were there when they did their inspection, right? Because we were witnessing that ish. She comes in, and tries to find a problem. Said there's too much in his freezer.
Why?
Yeah, and there's too many bags under the sink. And, of course, we were there, right? So all eyes on them, right? So we're like, that might not be the cleanest way for, our elder to live, but that ain't a habitability problem, and that ain't a breach of covenant. That's just what they were evicting him from, by the way. It was basically certain things you sign up in your lease that say you do. But the stuff they said he did, Leroy... we expected to go in there and find like rats, roaches, and pigeons crawling around. Blood. That place was spotless. My brother Israel, my brother Moot, myself, spotless. Our kitchen's dirtier than that, okay? All I'm trying to say is 90% of the time, these things are lies.
Yeah.
And they count on us walking away. Know your rights. Contact your favorite jailhouse lawyer or any of the advocates that you have in your town. Make them work for you. poormag@gmail.com. We love you. That's this week's Gentrification Report.
Wow. Yeah, those controllers would do anything to get you out.
Right?
So, welcome back. Are you serious?
No. Are you serious?
Are you serious? So, I joke, but this is serious. This is really serious. So, last year, probably some of you know, a black youth with autism, wandered away and they found him drowning. He was drowning. Teenagers was looking on and laughing. Black autistic youth. So, the Congress stepped in, and now check this out. It's been going through Congress the last 2 years. Trump just signed it into law, unfortunately. But the law is a tracking device on autistic kids.
Are you serious?
No, it gets worse than that. So it's a tracking device, plus police annually for the next 2 years gets $2 million for the next 2 years annually. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Daddy, can you imagine, Poor Magazine woke up one year and ching, your bank just got $2 million. That's gonna happen for the next 2 years.
Wait. You gotta break this down. What state or city are you talking about?
So the state is New York. It happened in New York. Yeah, it happened in New York. And the other case happened in Kansas City. So it's 2 autistic youth, black boys, and they both drowned. Story is like kind of wrap your head on that, but they both drowned. They wandered off from their house. So the parents, and I don't blame the parents because they don't know. So the parents went along with local activism to get a law passed called the Wandering Law. Because they, it's due, youth with autism, wanders away. So now they got this law, but this law gives $2 million to police every 2 years into nonprofits.
Wow.
So all the nonprofits are lining up with the police. So it's not like Poor Magazine, no.
Yeah.
It's all the nonprofits that line up with the police.
Oh, yeah.
So it just passed. It was stuck in the Congress for last year, but Trump passed it and signed it into law in March. And most parents think it's good. It's because this tracking device and this surveillance on disabled youth is disgusting.
So are we talking about implant, or?
It's an ankles.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
so if your son or daughter, wanders away,
Like a goddamn cat.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that ain't even, no.
Yeah.
No, that ain't even right.
So
Wow.
$2 million for local police.
Yeah, so they're going to figure out some way
for the
to
next 2
use
years.
that money.
Exactly. Just think about it.
Wow.
So are you serious?
Yeah, I don't even, I'm like sad.
So the next one is that we all know that, once again, I had to give it to you, these political debates are happening.
Okay.
But
Politics alert.
Yes. A lot of black people like marrying Wilmington because she's bringing up reparations. She's the only one that's bringing it up. But if you dig deeper, she is so ableist. Oh my God. So on the 88 celebration a couple weeks ago, she goes to a shelter workshop and holds it up to be a model for employment. I'm like, what? Every disabled people that I know on Facebook is like, what is she talking about? I mean,
And wait, what state again is this, and where?
Oh, I don't know where or what.
But she's running for president.
Yeah, she's running for president.
Get in clear on that.
Yes, and she has connections to eugenics.
What?
Yeah. And she was Oprah's spiritual leader.
Ew.
So it's all.
Ew.
It's all messed up.
Okay, now it's getting worse.
It's all messed up. It's
Right.
I know.
Supposed to be a sheltered workshop. Now, like, it's gone down a road.
Shelter workshop.
I can't even, like, get there.
She's into, like, lifting shelter up on your bootstrap.
Right, of course.
So she doesn't believe in mental health. Like, no, people are lazy.
Of course.
I was like, wow. And this person's running for president. And like I said, a lot of black people like her because she's the only one that sticks up with reparations.
And she is a woman of color?
No,
She's white? Okay. What's her connection to eugenics, man?
Oh, I mean, articles.
Her father was the scientist?
Articles have been coming out constantly, and a lot of disabled people was like, oh my God, she's so bad. I mean, on the 88 celebration, he went to a shelter workshop and say, "This is a model for employment."
Wow.
I'm done.
Oh my
I'm done.
God. Okay. Well, I've got an "Are you serious?" But I don't know if it'll top that, because I gotta say, "Are you serious, Trickster?" I'm sorry, that took a second. Are you serious? But I'm just like with the eugenics too. Okay. So there was a congressman. I don't know his name, but he goes into Skid Row and has basically a PR event. Okay, so let's get it clear. Be warned, fellow poverty scholars. When you see a Trickster, run the other way. Just saying. I'm just saying. Including our fine governor, the author of Care Not Cash. Took all the little crumbs away from us poor people. EYA to A.F.A. Hicks. Poor Nation, Poor Magazine, Popo at Laureate. But, so this dude has a PR event in Skid Row with a homeless woman helping her with, like, I don't know what, like a Salvation Army backpack, you know what I mean, that has like fake toothpaste in it and a broken like zipper. That's what they give us for free. Right? Yeah, right, exactly. But he was so kind because he visited the poor homeless person. Okay, 15 minutes after he left, the poli swept, did a sweep on this woman. Yeah.
That was planned.
Huh?
That was planned.
That's the point, right? And so you wonder why this poverty scholar is cool off the Tricksters, fam. And all love to you conscious folks who are trying to infiltrate the system. I'm serious, and I say that with love because I know that it does matter about those, that other vote for the little measly rent control that we got. It does matter about some few less criminalizing, legislations. Those things matter. It matters, right, how House Ben Carson is destroying the last little bit of public housing we have. Those things matter. So I'm not taking that down from anybody who's that's your goal. And there's some good folk out there. Jovanka Beckles, we love you. And, Cheryl Davila in Berkeley, we love you. And Nikki Fortunato Bass, we love you. And there's some other folk. And the brother in Richmond, I forgot your name, but I love you. That said, I don't get down with politics. And so, love and fight. But the reality is, we got to work for our own solutions as poor people. Because at the end of the day, we're all we got, fam. Are you serious? Anyway. Yeah, that part.
Yeah. It's so, it's so sad that that poor people with disabilities do so much. But the people that are wealthy in office do so little.
That part.
It's I just don't understand that.
So I have a little, we do book reviews every so often, right? Myself and Leroy and D. Allen were invited. I don't know if we could call it invited. We squoze our way up in that place by any means necessary. We love you, Mitch, in case you're watching. But anyway, we were invited onto the airwaves of KPFA. And we had a beautiful show with Mitch and with Kat. So all love for their infiltrating those airwaves for our poverty ghetto scholar, what's. But right before we came in, there was another interview with a guy named Josh Levin, who wrote this book, Queen. I don't even have an "Are you serious?" for this one, Leroy. I can't even muster up the excitement and volume of an "Are you serious?" I'm actually just like, "Are you sad?" Because I'm sad. I want to hold up and love my sister welfare queens and poverty scholars at Poor Magazine. You know who you are. We love you. as I bring this book up, because it screams of all the stuff that we do Poor Magazine for. And in a second, we're going to show you one of our powerful projects that are one of the reasons that myself and Leroy and Mutiara wake up in the morning, right? Because of the work that we do. But I do need to spend a second talking about this because it's such a flagrant example of middle class media doing more about us without us. Revising and writing our histories so that we are permanently codified as the other forever and ever and ever. So this lady was actually the one that Reagan modeled his welfare queen slur against. She was a poor mama. She was mixed race, so I personally have a little feeling for her. Very light-skinned. Didn't even know that she was a quarter black. One drop rule, Jim Crow South. You can bet, best believe she was passing every single which way she could to survive. But also, as we talk about in this book, which is medicine to that book and all the others like it, right?
There's many like it.
Right, Poverty Scholarship, Poor People-Led Theory, Art, Words, and Tears Across Mama Earth. For those of you who are listening to KEXU, we love you, 96.1 FM, The Crossroads. But anyway, this book called Queen, which was written by Joss Lemon and was actually about this lady who Reagan talked about, criminalized, pathologized, and hated all in one sentence. Well, you're going to hear something kind of shocking. I prefer what Ronald Reagan said about this lady.
Are you serious?
Okay? Than what this middle-class white man who ain't never missed a meal, as my Mama D would say, wrote about her. And I'm really actually I'm crying right now for her and all the other poor mamas and children and daddies out there who get these little bit of crumbs, and by the sole act of us getting these tiny, measly little crumbs, our lives can be dissected, criminalized, and pathologized. So this is her story, supposedly. She was a mixed-race woman who lied about her race. I wonder why. She was living in Kentucky and the Deep South. I wonder. In the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and 50s, what else you gonna do?
It's called lynching.
Thank you. Right? You gonna pass, like my Mama D said, by any means, if you can. Hello? Hello, somebody. Mama Blue. She had a series of husbands who beat her within an inch of her life. And she stayed with them because what else you gonna do in a dependent economy? And she did a lot of what I would call low-level poverty crimes. What? So what? Get this. She applied for welfare, hold on to your hat, in 5 different states under 5 different names. Okay, so what exactly are you getting when you get welfare in 5 different states under 5 different names? A whopping $110 check once a month. Okay, can we get this into some perspective, people? As people like Jeff Bezos and, Donald Trump and all his weird cadre and all of his children, his weird Nazi children, and all of the other multi-billion-dollar corp rapes across Mama Earth evict forest dwellers from Pakistan to the Amazon so that they can do mining on ancestral territory. So we talk about Michael Contreras, who is raising the rent on poor black and brown elders in San Diego right now so that he can pay his mortgage, and on the list goes. But this evil criminal got $110 a month from 5 different states. I don't know if I can handle that level of crime. She lied about her name Okay, real talk, fam. This poverty scholar, let's just say, that's not my only name. What? Arrest me. I'm in your city. Don't buy this book.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Buy this book. Buy this book.
This book. Multiple times. And we'll send it to you for free if you're a fellow poverty scholar. It ain't about making money, it's about making truth. Say it.
Yeah, so no more poverty pimping.
Thank you.
Please. Matter of fact, it's funny.
Right?
Last night I put on Facebook that I wonder why all the studies that deal with black disabled people are written by white middle class academics.
Oh, that part.
Since the 80s.
Yeah. Same, right?
Because how?
Thank you. And just so people are clear, as we look at Poor Press books right here. Beautiful Crip Hop Nation. You should get a copy. PoorPress.net by my brother Leroy. A powerful graphic novel series. Stormwater by my brother D. Allen. A powerful poverty scholar poet. All available on PoorPress.net. Poverty Scholarship. Poor People-Led Theory. Art, Words, and Tears Across Mama Earth. PoorPress.net. I bring those up to say the entire reason that Poor Magazine has its own press is because of violence like this. Of violence. Of herstory and his story rewriting about our lives, about us, without us. So yeah, it's urgent that revolutionary publications like Poor Press, or publishers like Poor Press and the Bayview and Decolonise happen. It's urgent. And shout out to our welfare warriors in Iowa. Shout out to all the street newspapers like Street Sheet and Street Spirit. Shout out to the powerful, amazing truth tellers like Lisa Ganser in Washington, PNN Washington. Shout out to the beautiful writers and liberators like Mumia Abu-Jamal. Yeah, this is emergency, family, because of this kind of crap.
And we did that with no money.
Thank you.
With no support, just like Crippa did a whole freaking African tour with no support.
That's right.
You know, these people with these get on any equipment.
Right, thank you.
And don't talk about anything, you know? And we can't even get inside any equipment.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
He has Cornel West on all the time. That man never spoke about disabled people. Never. I met him twice. He's never. Although his vocabulary got bigger, because now he's speaking about transgender people and queer people.
Yeah, whatever. I guess.
But not disabled people, you know?
Right.
Whatever.
I want to spend 2 minutes talking about some powerful, real poor people media. So the reason that I get up in the morning, literally, and it's extremely hard for us to do this, but we can, like my brother says, we do it with no money. We do it by any means necessary. Poor Magazine is, in fact, Poe. We need your dough. If you got a little bit, kick it down, though. Bank of Community Reparations. That goes to all poor people, no middleman, ain't no lie about it. And when you donate to poormagazine.org/rev_donor, it just goes to keep all this going. Because none of us get paid. Myself and Leroy aren't paid for this. We just do it and do our side hustles because, yeah, this has to happen. But I want to say that last week we did a powerful action, Scam Lords Be Scamming While Poor Tenants Be Struggling. And I want to show a little bit of that, but I want to start with what I said a second ago. The reason I wake up in the morning is one of our powerful projects that literally my mama and myself started back in 1996, which is our street writing workshops. And that launched the entire liberation movement. We just launched a Rufus Radio street writing workshop in the Intent Encampment behind Home Depot. It's the fourth one we've done in Oakland, actually, since we came to Oakland. They're very hard to do. We don't got no money, and all the poverty scholars get paid for their writing, so it's a lot of work. We also serve food and give advocacy because we don't believe in just writing when you're in struggle, but writing is healing, and then we also need to help heal people in all kinds of ways. This is one of our newest Ruthless Radio reporters and a powerful poverty scholar telling the beginning of his homefulness journey.
My name is Curtis James, and I'm speaking on poverty. Poverty is real. It's now, it was then, in the past, and at some point it will be in the future. But hopefully it will change. It can help people that are struggling to have a place to stay, a job, and enough money to take care of everyday life. But things can be better with the help of the people that have the power to make a change for the better for the people that are less fortunate.
There you go. So that's a little hint of what's about to come. And I just want to say that for Ruthless Radio, that's ROOF, Less Radio. We really, really, really need people to know that we'll come to your tent city encampment or street corner and share the medicine of poverty scholarship. So anybody out there who also wants us to come, just give us a call, give us a holla at poormag@gmail.com. And if you're in Oakland and you want to join the workshop, the next workshop is next Tuesday, right down behind Home Depot, where the weird Republican politrickster tried to sweep poor people out of their tents at 12 noon, Tuesday, August 6th. So let's hear a little bit from the scab lords be scamming while poor tenants be struggling. Oh, this is Brother King, one of our newest poverty scholars from the Plantation Prison, Pelican Bay, speaking at the auction.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, youth. I'm Minister King William E. Brown. I was just released from prison probably about a week and a half ago, last Tuesday. And what I'm seeing, truth be told, is they're doing a social cleansing. Truth be told is it's a genocide, it's a cultural genocide going on for humanity, those at the bottom right now. So we fighting and we scrambling for resources because of the flagrant policy of the seizures by the bureaucrats. And, you know, the only way we can fight against this centralized bureaucratic centralism, I should say, is to work as a collective, black, brown, you know, poor. And if we don't fight this class contradiction that we walking around every day, you see people saying they stand for this, they stand for that. But a lot of people only want to show up to do a photo op or whatnot. So when Frances said that she was going through what she was going through, me and my brother, we said, okay, we stand firm with you. Because we coming from prison to the street to get the work done, to clean up the street. And we serious. And it's not too many times that we see brothers and sisters coming together as a collective. You see people just driving by, they become desensitized to what's really going on. They fall on deaf ears. But, you know, we new to the group, but nevertheless, you know, we been fighting inside and out. And it correlate to brothers and sisters coming out to society without adequate resources. If they don't have adequate resources, then it's go back to prison, parole, prison. You know? So right now, what we objectively subjected against is the same fight that you all have been fighting for the last 18 years when I was in prison for 18 years. And we trying to get a documentary together so we can have evidence based to these fake Democrats and Republicans and whatnot, because they're lying. They're all the same.
That's right.
You know? So right now, I just want to commend everybody for coming out. And, you know, truth be told, we're going to be here together fighting this culture genocide.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, King, straight from the pen, and he's dropping knowledge, dropping action. So check his work out. He's down with Poor Magazine. We're down with him. So yeah, it's all gonna go down. You know, in that rally, you know, we stand outside of that house. That house was, you know, anti-princess, you know. Now they slap the paint on it and put a for sale sign on it, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's just so people understand the point of the action. Those of you who are listening and might not have heard before, we've been working on this with the gentrification report and constant gentrification tours are us, and the fight that Poor's been fighting literally since 1999 when the dot-com boom. So this ain't new for us. Ain't nothing new under the settler colonial sun. But what I do want to say that's different is they're ramping it up. There's, if anything, it's much, much worse. And in the case of this action, there were 5 tenants who came together dealing with 5 different examples of what I call scam lording. Why do I call it scam lord instead of slum lord? Well, I'll give you, this is a little lesson on, right out of the Poverty Scholarship book. Middle class and rich people and elites call our neighborhoods, our barrios, and our towns slums, okay? They call us dirty. They call us disorganized, crazy, lazy, dumb, and a bum. So I don't really use that word slum.
Until they want to move in and gentrify it.
Exactly. But what I will say is every single one of these fools who think that they are lords of the land, i.e. in this occupied territory called Turtle Island, they run in a scam on us, right? They take our money and they don't actually give what they said. And when they're done with us, like in the case of Auntie Frances, they pull these legislations out of there and they kick us to the curb. Ellis Act, legislator Politrickster created, was just another way to get poor people out on the street. And so, yeah, sure, they lie and say they're getting out of the business of landlording, right? Like they did to Auntie Frances. They moved their daughter in for 6 months. Then they even kicked her out, and they put it on the market for $1.3 million. So, yeah, that's a scam by any reach of the imagination. So we about out of time. I just want to spend 1 minute, Leroy, telling people about my jail suit. So yeah, I wear my jail suit, not because orange is the new black or any of that crap that Hollywood will tell you. Don't believe that. But actually I do it because I did that 3 months in Santa Rita for something I absolutely had nothing that I could do about it or caused it, right? How does being without a roof in this scam-lorded stolen land somehow become a crime? But all that to say, and many more of us might be in that same situation we lost Sam on. Part of it is to understand that I have this old suit that's actually really toe up. And my elders in Poor Magazine asked me to get a new suit because it's too toe up, and including my brother Leroy here. And so I got a new suit. But then my youth at Decolonized Academy said, you know what, Mama Tiny, I like the old one better. And I said, yeah, I do too. And they said, yeah, we like it better because it looks like you. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult. But the realness about that is because I'm uninvisibilizing people like myself that are considered crazy, lazy, dumb, and a bum. People don't look at me. People don't look at the people like myself. And when I was on the street corner, people would practice what I call the violent act of looking away. And intentionally, I uninvisibilize and I use something that might be hurtful to your eyes. I'm just saying. But Leroy's going to yell at me later, so I'll probably put the new one on anyway next week.
No, I just want to give love to Bruce, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, because he's been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
And now it's popping in the news. This nursing home just dumped an elderly black lady out of the nursing home into a shelter.
Yeah.
So this is happening.
And that's the one we heard about.
Yeah.
They happen all the time.
Yeah. So big love to Bruce, you know, kicking down that knowledge years ago. Is this now hitting mainstream news?
And that, just for folks, that's Bruce Allison, Disability Elder Poverty Scholar at Poor Magazine. We love you. Also, Bruce Wright from the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign, and Barbara Wright. We love you. I know, Bruce, you haven't been well. And so we're lifting you up in prayer because we need you, brother. I know you know that. We need our soldiers because sadly many of our soldiers are tired. And so we need all of us, because all of us ain't nothing without all of us.
Yeah. And we also need you to rest. You know,
true too.
activism, make people go. And that's not right. That's not right. So we need you to rest and take care of yourself.
So we out.
So we out. This is KEXC 96.1 FM. That was the news hour with the Black Crippled and
the Poverty Scholar. Shout out to Archie from Tanzania. We love you, Archie. And all the people who might be watching that channel. We love all y'all powerful poverty and disability scholars from the continent. And talking for myself and my brother, I can't wait to come and visit you. Poor People's Revolutionary Radio. What?
See ya. Peace. Stay tuned for Crib Pop show and more shows to come.
For the radio, Ruthless Radio and the Radio Remix. We'll take a music break and then we'll be back.
Yeah, I thought so.